Over the course of human history, mankind has continued to develop the manner in which they fight armed conflict. From the swords of Egypt, to the legions of Rome, to the castles of the Middle Ages, and the large-scale international conflict of the 20th century, mankind now faces a new manner of conflict without clear answer or resolution. In my informative speech, I hope to better describe this new type of conflict and the best ways to resolve such issues. In the 21st century, the United States has faced two armed conflicts, in Afghanistan and Iraq, facing both times large amount of counterinsurgent and guerrilla tactics. I believe that the need for military and government and general public is to examine the manner in which we fight this, and to focus more on building infrastructure and governmental resources instead of the use of military force. In The Accidental Guerrilla by David Kilcullen, he defines hybrid warfare, another name for insurgent warfare, as a mixture phenomenon involving a shifting combination of armed and unarmed, military and non-military, state and non-state, internal and international, non-violent and violent means, as the most common way of warfare in the 21st century. By examining past conflicts, it is easy to decide what is the best manner of recourse. In Army Field Manual 3-24, entitled Counterinsurgency, provided by the Department of the Army, and I quote, "Warfare remains a violent clash of interests between organized groups characterized by the use of force. Achieving victory still depends on a group's ability to mobilize support for its political interests, often religious and ethnically based, and to generate enough violence to achieve political consequences. Political power is a central issue in insurgencies and counterinsurgencies. Each side aims to get the people to accept their governance and authority as legitimate. Insurgents will always use all available tools, political, informational, military, and economic, to overthrow the existing authority." While examining this quote, the role of government in diplomacy becomes quite apparent. As an example, the conflict in Vietnam, which is regarded as one of the most controversial conflicts in American history, it is easy to see this yet again. In an interview performed in 1970 with former ambassador to the South Vietnam from 1960 to 1963, Frederick Nolting stated, "I never felt that there was a strong possibility of invasion from the North. It was a political and military contest, a struggle for allegiance to the people, rather than direct combat and military confrontation. Now, is always the case in this kind of struggle or subversive warfare, it's a combination of these things. There are plenty of rough stuff, and there are plenty of violence and shooting, but that's not the point. The point from the communist point of view was to keep things stirred up, to paralyze the government, and to get a political crisis which would finally result in the pro-Viet Cong elements or pro-Hanoi or North Vietnam elements taking control of the entire peninsula of Vietnam." In 1963, the United States helped overthrow their allies, the Diem government, in a political coup, which created a large amount of instability and robbed the South Vietnamese government of that very sovereignty and legitimacy that it required, harming the building of infrastructure and pushing it into more of an armed conflict, which ended up hurting itself by 1975, resorting to the United States pulling back in North Vietnam, taking the entire peninsula. Again, we see in Iraq, after years of combat, the lack of focus on the government ended up harming the stability of the government, the stability of the entire nation as a whole, and allowing insurgent forces from ISIS to be able to take control over a large portion of Iraq. The need for government is no less needed in this, is no more needed than in this type of conflict. And While we have been able to rely upon the military structure and military resources to impose our will, we now must look to a new dawn of a new age and the new manner in which we fight wars, in a more diplomatic and provide legitimacy to those who need it. Thank you.